Okay, in the first button video, we made a button that's a clickable area on screen that's designated by this red rectangle. If you click inside it, you're going to get a response. In this case, it is the text, "You did it." But as we established, the problem is when I release the mouse, the text goes away. Because, of course, our program says that that action is true only when the mouse is pressed, and it means pressed and held down. So we want to modify this code so that the action, that text, stays even after we release the mouse. So for that, we're going to need a Boolean variable. And as I'm sure you remember, Boolean variables can have two values. They can be true or they can be false. So I'm going to set up one called clicked. And I'm going to start out by making sure that it is false. I'm going to declare clicked as the Boolean variable and initialize it as false. You could do that all in one line, or if you want, you can declare it in one line and it'll initialize it in setup. The effect is exactly the same. It's up to you. Okay, so now I want, instead of having these two nested conditional statements trigger the action, I want these two conditional statements to trigger the change of my Boolean variable clicked from false, and I wanted to make it become true. And then once that Boolean variable is true, set up another conditional statement that carries out an action for the whole time that that is true. So I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to Command X to cut it. And I'm going to change the action triggered by the click of the button to be clicked equals true. Just one equal sign because we're not checking for equality, we're assigning equality. Then after both the curly brackets that close both of those nested conditional statements, I'm going to set up another separate conditional statement, not nested, a separate one, that says if clicked equals true, and this time it is that double equal sign because we're checking for equality, then that's where my action is going to be. And once clicked becomes true, there's nothing in this code that changes it back to false because it's only made false in its initialization, so right just when the program's run. So once I click inside that mouse, clicked is going to be true for the whole rest of the time this particular program is running. So that text will stay up the whole time. So here, and if I click, of course, there it goes. My text pop up. As a fun thought exercise, you could always add another button that's an off button. So this one would be the on button. Of course, it doesn't make any sense that it's red. Real world, it'd probably be green. And then make another off button that would change the value of clicked back to false. So you'd have on and off button to turn this action on and off. But for right now, that's it. That's how you set up a button with a Boolean statement so the action stays on screen.